everyone, and welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale statue unboxing and review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Mezco Toys and Static 6 take on Cassandra Peterson as the iconic hostess with the mostess. It's Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. The review will take the usual format. We'll have a quick look at the box, then we'll be diving down onto the table to have a look at all the accessories that come with the statue. Then it'll be out with the Queen of Halloween herself, onto the turntable for a close-up look, and then we'll be wrapping the whole thing up with a mini showcase at the end, as always. Before we get into that, though, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to everybody who's liked, commented, and subscribed to the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you haven't already, please hit that bell notification icon, hit that subscribe button. We have lots more content coming up, and some of the stuff that's on the horizon we'll list as always before we zip on over to the mini showcase. But yeah, massive thank you to everybody out there. And also worth mentioning at this point, when we hit 1,000 subs, we'll be having a 6 scale figure giveaway. But before we dive into the box, a bit of background. Cassandra Peterson started her showbiz life as a Vegas showgirl and doing bit parts in movies back in the 70s. She got a big break in the 80s when she invented the character of Elvira for Elvira's Movie Macabre, a late night show where the Queen of Halloween introduced some of the best and worst of B horror movies from back in the day. She went on to make her own movies, TV shows, and the character of Elvira has sort of slipped into pop culture history, as has her unique look. But that's enough of the legend herself. Let's have a look at this box. Very big box it is too, very hefty, very weighty. Any double entendres you hear in this review are completely intentional. Exceptionally well presented in this high gloss finish. What you've got is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark in the top left hand corner, Mezco Toys Static 6 top right hand corner, Mezco Toys again bottom right hand corner. Front and center is a photograph of the statue itself, all set against this cobweb design. Let's take a look at the sides of the box. This has literally just arrived and gone straight in front of the camera, so the statue is still in the box. So if I struggle turning this, you have to bear with me. We'll just bring it sideways so we can get this into shot. On the side here, you've got Elvira, Mistress of the Dark again, and you've got a shot of the extra head sculpt, which is a winking one. There are 2 head sculpts with this particular statue. That same image is repeated on the right hand side, exactly the same thing. On the top it says Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. On the bottom you've got the usual credits and warnings. Don't piss this statue off or it might gouge out your eyes and use your head as a bowling ball. And let's take a look at what's on the back, if we can get this thing to turn in fully in shot. Right, there we go. So what's on the back? Quite a lot of information on the back. You've got Mezco Toys bottom right hand corner again. You've got some more shots of the statue. A lot of instructions, but descriptions. You've got a description of Elvira herself here at the bottom. There's a list of everything that's included in the box. There's even some shots here of the filters that go into the television set, which is part of the base, but we'll come to that when we bring the figure out. So yeah, presentation is really, really good. This is only the first, no, it's not the first actually, it's the second Mezco Toys product I've got. The only other one in my collection is their take on Pinhead from Hellraiser. And that's the only other Mezco Toys I've got. So yeah, this is a new one on me. It'd be interesting to see where this goes. And as I say, brand new, literally just arrived. So it's a voyage of discovery as always for all of us. But yeah, that's enough of this rather nice box. So what we'll do next is we'll crack those seals and dive down onto the table and have a look at everything she comes with. Okay, so here we are down on the table with all the accessories that come with your Elvira, Mistress of the Dark statue. Well, they're not technically accessories. I'll put a caveat on that. These are actually all part of the statue, but I thought we'd take this opportunity to just have a close-up look before we put the whole thing together, so we can get some better idea of some of the detailing here. So we'll start with the boring stuff first, get it out of the way. It comes with a full set of instructions on how to construct the statue, also how to insert the batteries, because there's a television set as part of the statue itself, obviously, which is battery operated, but we'll come to that. So yeah, That's your instructions. We'll put those to one side. You also, talking of the television, you get a set of batteries, which is nice to see. You get 3 AA batteries, which power the television. We'll just take a look at the back of this TV, because we'll see this in more detail when we actually construct the whole statue itself. But I believe this is made out of polystone. It's got magnets on the back. Obviously, there's a battery compartment attached to it. Your connector is there. This is a sculpted piece of plastic, this power cable at the back, and is only there for decoration. But yeah, very nice it is too. The light's picking this up. There's some nice detailing on here. The paint applications are nice. The screws have been picked out in silver. You've got this green goop coming down one corner, which you'll see on the rest of the television when we get the full body out as well. Some more green goop dribbling down the back. There's dinks on this. The thing's meant to be aged. There's a nice polystone cobweb on the side here, complete with a very well painted spider. The painting on there is really, really nice. Yeah, and you've even got this corner is even bent up through age, because I mean these old televisions had sort of like had a wooden stroke cardboard back, and had a tendency to warp. I'm showing my age there. But yeah, you've got all the sockets at the back there, and just very, very nicely done. This spring here is actually to hold the screen of the television in place, but we'll take a look at how that works when we bring the whole thing out itself. So yeah, that's the back of the television. We'll put that to one side, being careful of that spring. Let's take, oh yeah, well, while we're on the subject of the television, you also get these are the inserts that actually go into the TV. It's got LEDs on the inside, it illuminates, and you can actually see these things on the television itself. You've got the Elvira Mistress of the Dark logo. You've got this one, which to me says Nosferatu straight away. These two, now I've been racking my brains as to what these two actually are. I mean, they're sort of made of a card. Well, it's not actually a card. I think it's plastic actually, so that the light will pass through it. Yeah, holding this up now, you can actually see through. It has some transparency to it. So yeah, it feels like a plastic. But if there's anybody out there who knows which movies these are from, I have been racking my brains. This one I am not so sure of. I think it's meant to be that way around. I cannot place that movie. This one is really annoying me because I do know the film, but I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, if there's anybody out there who knows what movies these two are from, please, please put me out of my misery. I really, really want to find out. It's damn difficult searching the internet based solely on this one image. So yeah, you've got these swap out screens for the television. Let's take a look at these interchangeable arms. She comes with 2 interchangeable right arms. Obviously magnetized, which is good to see. They're polystone, as is the vast majority of it. It's mixed media, but the vast majority of stuff we're seeing here is polystone. The paint applications on here are nice. I'll try and get this into shot as much as possible. They're good. The paint applications on the skin there's bone work, not so much of the veining, but the bone work is nice. The paint work is perhaps not the best I've seen. The accuracy is really good, but the skin tone is, well, no, it's good. I mean, it fits the character, but I mean, like a lot of the stuff here, it's quite stylized. But I think it works. It works with this particular figure, this particular statue. But yeah, you've got the studded bracelet there. On the wrist, the ring, the ruby ring, is really, really nicely done. There are golds on there. The camera's picking this up in red. You've got the black nail polish, which is once again character accurate, and she's holding sort of between her fingers there a copy of TV Ghoul, which I'm assuming is meant to be TV Guide, and it is really, really nicely done. If I can get this into shot and get the camera to pick this up, you can actually make out the writing on there. It's just very, very well done. There's a picture of Elvira herself, and then there's listings on there and details of articles and what's in the magazine itself. And so yeah, very, very nicely sculpted, very, very nice paintwork. So yeah, that is arm number 1. We'll put that to one side. Arm number 2, slightly different. This arm's bent and is holding the TV remote control. that's pretty much the only difference there. The ring is still the same. The paint applications are nice, as with the other arm. You've got the studded bracelet again, and obviously this one's magnetic too. So yeah, that's your other arm, your alternate swap out arm. So that's the two arms. Let's have a quick look at this this pleather belt. Now, this is probably one of the few things actually on the statue that is mixed media. I believe this is pleather and is velcroed at the where the 2 points meet, and this goes around her waist and holds this rather small 6 scale dagger, which she was known to wear around her waist. The paint applications on sculpt on this, if I can get it into shot because it is tiny, are really nice. There are golds on there. There's a red on the stone at the end of the knife, on the handle of the knife. There's a green stone painted in there as well. And yeah, just very nice paint applications. All one piece of sculpted plastic, and it fits into the front of the pleather belt once you've got it attached to her waist. And I believe she wore it at a jaunty angle. But we'll attach that when we bring out the main body itself. So we'll put that to one side. That is your pleather belt and dagger. Let's have a look at this base. Now, this base is all polystone. It's got some weight to it, as the whole statue has. Very nicely done. Let's take a look underneath first. On the bottom, you've got Mezco Toys, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, Mezco Toys Static 6, the usual bits and pieces. Glad it's got these. It's got rubber pads. This one, not felt. These are rubber. So yeah, if you're displaying it in a glass cabinet or on a shiny shelf, it should have some stability. I mean, the weight should be enough to hold it, but it's good to see these on here, so you're not scratching whatever surface you've got it on. On the top, you've got this what appears to be it looks like a red rug or a red carpet. And I'll bring it round into shot. You've got sculpted in here. You've got this box of popcorn, which is spilt out with a couple of rats inside it. The paint applications on there are really nice. That popcorn is particularly effective. There's multiple paint applications in there. There's whites, there's yellows, there's dots on the corn for realism. The box itself is really well done. It looks a bit battered and a bit dirty, which really adds a sort of sense of realism to it. And the paint applications and sculpt on those rats is nice as well. Yeah, so that's the popcorn. We'll bring it round, and what you've also got on here are 2 polystone books. Now, these look like they've been glued on. I'm seeing a little bit of glue where that skull is attached, so they're not all one piece of sculpted polystone. These have been attached after, but the paint applications on this book are really nice to give it that leather look. This shading in the crevices there. If I can bring this round, the light will catch this. The pages have been painted to look weathered as well. Just very nice work there. The skull itself that sits atop the books has got some nice paint applications on there. Once again, lots of painting in the crevices there to pick out the details. The teeth are nicely detailed. They're what appears to be some kind of centipede coming out of the eyeball. That's got a nice shiny look to it. The paint applications there are good. And then you've got this candle on top of the skull with this wax effect dripping down all sides of it. So yeah, nice paint applications, nice sculpt. Just a very nice piece of work on the base. So that's the base. Let's have a quick look at these 2 head sculpts before we bring we put the whole thing together. Now, as mentioned before, you get 2 with this particular statue. We'll take a look at the winking head sculpt first. Now, these are all polystone, and they've got some weight to them. The hair looks very accurate to me. There's individual strands in there. The paint applications are nice. The colour is correct. This is the winking head sculpt. Now, I'm probably more inclined towards the other head sculpt than this winking one. But once again, as with the arms, the paint applications are nice. The lips are nice and glossy. I would say accuracy to source material and looking like Cassandra Peterson, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10 on that one. In profile, she had a rather distinctive nose, and that they seem to have yeah, they seem to have taken some artistic license with that. As I said before, with the arms, it's more of a, how can I put this? It's a stylized take on Elvira rather than going for hyper realism, as you will probably see in say something like a 6 scale in art figure or something like that. They've gone for that more stylized look, but I think it suits the character and it suits the figure. And also as well, I mean, she had darker, for want of a better expression, highlighter that she used on her face underneath her cheeks to accentuate her high cheekbones, and they don't seem to have gone for that. There is some reddening there, but it's not as predominant as it was in real life, shall we say. They've got the eye makeup right. The eyes are pretty good on this. Perhaps could be a little bit glassier. But on the whole, I really, really like this head sculpt. I think it most certainly captures the likeness of Elvira and the likeness of Cassandra Peterson very, very well. We'll bring in the second one. We'll take a look at this. Now this, I think this is much more how I imagine and remember Elvira. Remember her, she's still around, but this sums up the character more to me, shall we say. It's got this open mouth expression. The tongue inside is very, very well painted. You can see that there's some glossy pink paint on the tongue. If the camera will pick this up, teeth are nicely sculpted and painted. Same paint applications on the face as you've got on the other head sculpt. Still lacking maybe that dark makeup underneath those cheekbones to accentuate them, but we'll let Mezco off at this point. Eye makeup really, really well done. You've got that pink around the eyes. Once again, the eyes could be glassier. They could be slightly more realistic, but it's, as I say, it's that hyper stylized look that we're going for here. Same issue with the profile. Perhaps that nose isn't 100% accurate. But they've caught the eye makeup really, really nicely, and they have caught the essence most certainly of Elvira and Cassandra Peterson there. And it's the same quality in the hair as well, the same quality of paint and sculpt. So overall, it's a thumbs up from me. I'm still on the fence as to whether they should have gone for the hyper realistic look in this, because it can be done with today's statue making techniques, as we saw with the Vincent Price Infinite statue that we reviewed recently on the channel. But I really like this sort of more stylized look. I think it is in keeping with the character. So yeah, there are your two head sculpts. So without further ado, we'll do this off camera, because I think the last thing you want to see is an old man futzing around building a statue. We'll put the whole thing together and then bring it out and get it onto the turntable and see how this thing works as a whole. Okay, so here she is. It's the Queen of Halloween, completed, onto the turntable. Well, not exactly complete. We haven't actually activated the light up feature in the television yet. We'll do that on camera so you can see how that works. But yeah, first impressions completed as my turntable groans under the weight are very, very good. I'm suitably impressed. I had a little bit of sort of, well, not doubts. There were some worries there when I was looking at the head sculpts, but I think that sort of stylized version fits this particular piece really, really well. I think it's particularly well sculpted, particularly well painted, and I think it really does capture the essence, that campiness, that kitsch of the character itself, and really does do justice to the character that Cassandra Peterson created. I think this is, I'm liking this a lot, and as viewers to my channel will know, I'm a huge horror film fan, and having this in the collection, I think really is just, it's the icing on the cake as far as horror goes. But yeah, let's take a close-up look. Let's stop her from spinning, and let's have a look at all those bits and pieces that we didn't cover in the accessories section. Let's bring her around. And I will apologise a little bit here at the start. If you're getting any glare off this box, we have a new lighting rig, a new lighting setup that we're using on the channel. The old lighting wasn't cutting it, and we're experimenting at the moment. trying to get the best out of the figures and the statues and the stuff that we do review. So if there's any glare coming off this box, I do apologise. But yeah, let's have a look at this figure now. The television and the figure itself, obviously the statue itself, is attached to the television. It's all polished stone, apart from the odd bit of multimedia in there, and it simply attaches to the base by a peg there, and there's a peg that we pointed out in the it's in shadow there, but it simply sits in that peg, the television, with the figure on top. The TV itself, we had a look at the back. The front of the TV, the same quality of sculpt and paintwork is continued. You've got this plastic screen, and I think that's the only piece of plastic really on this television, obviously designed to reflect the light that's coming from the LEDs inside. The paint applications are really, really nice. You've got this cobweb in the corner here that's quite well done. There's a gold edging that's weathered around the sides of the screen itself. The wood effect on the television is particularly well done. The sculpt and the paint applications to make it look like wood. It's dinted, it's uneven, and it's just really, really nicely done. If I bring it round to the side here, you'll probably see there's a hole in the side of the TV here. There's a pair of red eyes peeping out, if the camera's picking that up, which are really effective. There's these clawed feet on the television, which have got the same quality of sculpt and paintwork to give it that wood effect. There's a blob of what I can only describe as green gloop on the corner of the TV. Let's bring it closer into shot if we can. Quite heavy this piece. Embedded in the top of the television, you've got this meat cleaver. Now I believe this is metal. It feels like metal. Doesn't feel like polystone. I could be wrong, but that feels like metal to me. And it's got some nice paint applications on there to make it look a little bit worn and rusted. There are scratches on there. The paint applications and sculpting on the handle to give it that wood effect are really, really nice. Also sat in this this green goop is a bottle of poison. Now I believe that bottle is plastic and it's been stuck to the TV. I could be wrong, but it feels like plastic. It's got a little label on the front there with the skull and crossbones and says poison. Looks very nice. Underneath we've got some more cobwebs here hidden underneath the TV. They're sculpted in polystone. The whole television itself is just very well sculpted, very well painted. Let's take a look at Elvira herself. Now, let's start with this dress. The bottom part of the dress here is very nicely sculpted. It's got rips, it's got tears in it. The ends are uneven, which looks really good, and it falls. The sculpting of the fall off the television set is really, really nice. The proportions and colour of the dress, the paint applications are really nice. Proportions all look very accurate here. He said, biting his bottom lip. These tights that she's wearing, stockings she's wearing, are nicely painted. You've got that grey look, which is accurate. The paint applications and sculpt for the body are wonderful, and we've already looked at the head sculpts. It just works. The proportions are correct. The sculpt is really, really good. Paint applications are great, and just the way it's been put together as a piece, rather than just having a straight up, straight down statue of Elvira. I love the way they've sort of put this thing together, how they've conceptualized it with the TV, with all the books and the popcorn and all the bits and pieces going on. It really, really does give it that atmosphere, which I think is fantastic. We'll take a look. We'll actually swap out this head sculpt. We'll bring it. Actually, lift this camera up and bring her a little bit closer in. If we can get this camera to come up a little bit, we'll move her closer into shot, and we'll just swap out these head sculpts. Now, this is my preferred head sculpt, as I mentioned before, but you do have the option of the winking one if you so wish. Magnets inside there and on the head itself, so it's simply a case of popping it on, and there you go. It's secure and in place. And it's the same story with the arm. Simply lift the arm out and pop in the new arm. And I will do this in camera, and it simply falls into place like that, and we'll move her back again. This isn't, as I mentioned before, I'm not as keen on this winking head sculpt. I'll actually lower this again, this camera, a little bit, because unfortunately, and this is probably down to the way I'm lighting this. We're not lighting it from underneath. If it was lit from underneath, you would probably see that wink a lot better. So I'll put this down to bad lighting, but I'm still not as keen on this winking head sculpt. It doesn't quite work as well for me. The arm, yeah, the arm with the remote control, that's really down to personal taste as well, whichever one you want to use. But I'm going to switch these back, because personally for me, that one won't be spending as much time on the sculpt as this one. I think that most certainly is the one for me. So there you have it. That is Mezco Toys Static 6 Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And very, very nice it is too. I'm really pleased to have it in the collection. I think it will fit perfectly in my horror section in my collection, because it can be that piece that has its tongue firmly planted in its cheek, and that's what I like about this. It's one of those pieces that puts a huge smile on my face. It really does. So there you have it. Yeah. I suppose all it remains for me to say is thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope it's been useful. If you're thinking of picking this up, or if you already have it, or pop a comment in the comment section below, let me know. We haven't covered one thing, which we do need to cover before we wrap this whole thing up. It's how does this TV actually work? I almost missed that. Let's bring it back round. It's relatively straightforward, he said with confidence. I was going to attempt to do this on camera. As we covered before, this is magnetically attached, the back of this TV, so it's simply a case of removing it. I find using the spider in the bottom right hand corner the easiest way to do it. When you take it out, I've already put the batteries in. You've simply got this attachment here, and as I said, we'll attempt to do this on camera. So simply slot this into place, and I believe it goes, and it's just making sure you get it the right way around. Yeah, it's that way around. And this actually attaches like that, and we'll just put this to one side while we put the screen in. Then all you do is you pick your preferred screen. Now I'm going to go for Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. It was the first one that came to hand. And you simply place it inside the television itself, and making sure you don't drop anything. Align it with the TV screen. I think that's about right. It may take a bit of finagling getting it perfectly square, but yeah, once you've got it in there and you're happy with it, it's simply a case of tucking the wires in. There is a switch here. You just simply throw that switch, and obviously the LEDs light up. Tuck the wires in. That spring will hold the screen in place, he said, hopefully, and then reattach the back, which is held on by magnets. And we'll bring it back round, and there you go. That's the TV effect. It's not perfectly square on. I need to just slightly adjust that. As you can see, there's a bit of light bleed coming through that side there. But yeah, there you have it. That's the TV lit up. Actually, we'll just kill the lights to see how bright these LEDs actually are. So yeah, there's some brightness to it. It's perhaps not the most... we'll kill this light as well, actually. There we go. Total darkness. So yeah, it's a nice effect. Perhaps not something I'll be using that often in the display, but you know, if it's something you're wanting to use to augment the piece, it's there and it's a nice little touch. Yeah, so as I mentioned, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Oh yeah, what's coming up on the channel? Yeah, I forgot to mention that. We can't go without saying what's coming up. Just arrived at the same time, actually, as this piece. Trick or Treat Studios take on Boris Karloff as Frankenstein, the 6-scale statue. So that's going up for review very, very soon. What else have we got coming in? We've got Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry, Sideshow. We've got Patrick Stewart, Jean-Luc Picard from XO6 as Admiral Picard from Season 3 of Admiral Picard. Caustic Plastics, Horror of Dracula. Twin Pack, Cushing and Lee. We have the Legendary Merchant, aka Tom Hardy from Taboo. Org Toys, Duke Leto, that 6 scale, that'll be coming in soon. moving up scales, quarter scale. We've got Prime One Studios and Blitzway, Paul Atreides Still Suit statue. That's coming into. I could go on. I could drone on for hours about what's coming in, but I'm sure I'll bore you to death. So I suppose all it remains for me to say is thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase. I'm filming.